Welcome back to more great race action here at Snet. Steve's on the grid.
We're here for the Buff Supermoto and the Moto450s, and Mark Laws, who called himself the specialist of Snetterton, has actually put himself under some unnecessary pressure. Second on the grid, Will Hodgson here, number 14, has been in brilliant form in the GP2 class. Ben Gautry's going to just look to stay on circuit and get up there on the podium. And here he is, number 29, local boy from North Walsham, Phil Canessa. Can he get another podium to add to his one from yesterday?
Well, we'll have to see, Steve. I tell you what, Mark Laws, well, he was a European Supermoto champion just a couple of seasons ago. Very talented rider on a great piece of kit there. But he does have this group of young riders all about his ears this weekend, and they are very competitive, and one of the most competitive of them, a race winner already. There we see 14, Will Hodgson, into the lead at Riches, the first corner for the first time. But great thing about Supermoto, Steve, it really does bring a lot of colour and variety to the racing, because these really are the spannermen of the sport, aren't they? They tend to spend their winters locked away building their bikes, and they can marry up all sorts of chassis with all sorts of engines, and they produce some weird and wonderful but gloriously turned out machines.
They do, yeah. They're obviously all single-cylinder four-strokes, and we've got BMWs out there, Rotax, MZs, KTMs, so a real variety. And with the 450s out there, those beautiful Aprilia 450s, really do have some fun at the front.
Yes, indeed. Saw Alex Hutchinson going through there. We saw him earlier in the GP2s, but this time he's out on a Supermoto Honda. There he is. Just going through Riches. You can always tell him because he has that lovely, easy to spot colour scheme. But up the front, it is Will Hodgson trying to capitalise on that excellent start. Mark Laws there in second. Phil Canessa, who just ran around the outside of Ben Gautry as they run up towards Riches last time. And there we see Danny Murphy just chasing hard after Alex Hutchinson. Alex, the number 7 at Dayglow Honda there.
Yeah, just ahead of Alex Hutchinson there is Jonathan Good, number 57, as well as Mark Laws is being challenged by Phil Canessa. Phil has not been in the top 3 of the 450s up until now. Really seems to be at one with the bike at last.
Yep, just behind him. You can see there is Jonathan Good, but there's a couple more Supermonos. Jeff Claridge and indeed Ivan Porter having a good battle just behind this leading bunch as Will Hodgson goes through. Number 14, there we see Hutchinson and Danny Murphy. They run out up this short straight towards Sear Corner.
Well, Mark Laws is getting a little bit closer to Will Hodgson now as the race progresses. Will maybe just starting to fade. This, of course, pretty much their first dry, well, fully dry race of the weekend so far. Their first two were slightly damp, but Mark Laws is starting to catch the younger rider, Will Hodgson.
Yep, once again, Hutchinson and Murphy hard on it. Danny Murphy putting in a series of very quick laps. Actually, we'll have to keep an eye on that when it comes to fastest lap time. And there, Phil Canessa, well, he's made a bit of a break, hasn't he? He's got ahead of Ben Gautry. He's up there in third place. Now look at him. He's right on the pillion of Mark Laws. And those three at the front, a little bit of a breakaway. Hodgson, Laws and Canessa.
What better place to do it as well for Phil Canessa than on home turf? He's got a lot of family and friends supporting him this weekend at Snetterton. Of course, he's not too far away in North Walsham, and great family, always lovely to talk to in the paddock, and he's having the best ride of his life so far.
Yep, certainly is, and it is good to see these young riders against the experience of somebody like Mark Laws. They're going to learn a lot from going around Snet, having a look at either the front or the rear of his bike. There's Andy Driver, another of the Supermonos. That's an MZ as the leaders come down under the bridge, and Mark Laws just nicks ahead of Will Hodgson there. Will be undaunted. There he is, straight up the inside at the Essex, and he keeps it very neat and tidy. And this, yet again, Steve, all these young riders say this about this 450. It is so neat and so easy to handle through the twisty bits.
Yeah, it's very nimble, and Mark Laws must be getting a bit sick of this. It's Pembury revisited at the moment with Will Hodgson, and he still hasn't learned his lesson, has he? A little bit further back there, we saw number 80, and Phil Canessa's going to have a go as well. No, doesn't quite make a stick here. Number 80, Asa Webb, great to have him back on circuits. Of course, an ex-Super team. He's now taken to the saddle of an Aprilia 450 as well, so the class really is growing from strength to strength.
Yeah, and Asa looks more and more comfortable with every race that we see him on one. There, Phil Canessa just dropped back a couple of yards, having made that attempt on Mark Laws there. There's Andy Turner, another Super Mono. That's a Yamaha, a 426. But of course, it's a big old Beamer, this 720cc machine of Mark Laws, and the two straights at Snetterton you'd think would favour him. Obviously, it's these twisty bits, the S's and the Russell chicane, where the 450's clawing back, but Mark Laws has hit the front, and as far as he's concerned, Steve, at the right time when the last lap flag comes out.
Yeah, as we just see number 37 there, Jeff Claridge, who's currently third in the Super Monos overall. He's doing very well, but Will Hodgson's going to need to get ahead of Laws, in my opinion, by Russell's if he wants any chance of winning this race.
Yeah, and Jeff Claridge, they're chasing hard after Jonathan Good, so there could be a bit of a photo finish on for second and third in the Super Monos, but Laws comes into Russell for the last time, and well, Will Hodgson, he agrees with you, he's got to go there, he dives up the inside, runs a little wide, Mark Laws doesn't find a safe way through, and it is Hodgson that hits the centre straight with a little bit of advantage, and pouring on the power goes Mark Laws, and he just nabs it. Mark Laws by 0.006 of a second gets the verdict. I'm not sure that Will Hodgson knows that yet. Well, maybe he does. Well, they're having a chat, and Mark Laws says, it could have been you, it could have been me. Well, actually, it was you. It was Mark Laws that won it. From Jonathan Good, these are the Super Mono results, of course. Jeff Claridge's third Super Mono ahead of Ivan Porter. And there we see the Super Mono podium. Very happy winner, Mark Laws. The Moto450 results, well, Will Hodgson won those. From Phil Canessa, Danny Murphy was third, Ben Gaultry fourth, ahead of Liam Shelcock and Connor Tagg. There, Will Hodgson, once again, on the top step of the podium for Moto450s.
Winning the Moto450 race, Will Hodgson, well, that was the easy part, but you almost got Mark Laws for the overall win as well.
Yeah, it was mega close. I just had to keep tripping him up into Russell's and just trying, but did me in the end to the line. But it was a good race, much more fun than the GP2. Had a bit of a battle on my hands that time, so really enjoyed that.
The weather hasn't played in my hands today. At Pembury the sun was shining. I thought we'd come here, it'd be a lovely sunny day and I'd be on lap record pace. But I've been far from that this weekend, and Will's given me a good race and nearly tripped me up at the end there. So,
well, it's good entertainment for us in the TV studios, but well done anyway.
Thank